Okay, I hope you can hear me well. I want to talk about something that have been practicing for a while now and can say that I have a little grasp on and see how it intersects and works and which directions it goes. So, on a spiritual path, one of the most important lessons is to detach, whether it be from a person, outcome, or an object. Now, as if it wasn't hard enough, right? For a lot of neurodivergent people, especially with complex trauma, we tend to find peace in objects because they're more permanent. They don't betray or reject us. So it almost becomes impossible to conceive of detaching from anything, let alone objects, right? If it's a person who is nice to you, then they become your whole world because you're like, finally I'm here, finally I found this person, at least one, who is there for me, who accepts me, right, etc., etc. No matter to what degree. Maybe they're like, accepting you a little bit and you're already obsessed, and that also prevents you from letting them go and um, letting in people who are better for you. Jesus, no, it's your brain. So what I found for myself, first of all, that there's a lot of things that interrelate, like verbally, conceptually, but truly it's the same energy, it's the same thing that's happening. So for example, like being super vigilant or like thorough about recycling or repurposing, right? Not wanting to let go of things that you don't really like, but you're afraid that other people are going to discard them. So you want to save the object and use it as long as possible, whether it's clothes or item, or like household item, or a decor that you think is so ugly that you have to save it because otherwise nobody's gonna love it. And in all of those is this, finding comfort in objects, but it also adds this layer of you identify with that object, especially when it's like trash, because you feel discarded by society, you feel discarded by community, your family, whomever, God, universe. So you're doing everything you could to not let that happen to anyone else or anything else. So you hold on to things that you think have potential, whether it's things or people or jobs or anything. You feel like everything can be improved, and it is true that everything can be improved, but with people or relationships, you both have to want it and be able to do it at this moment right now, right? Like even if you want but you can't, you have to let it go, and maybe you can go at it sometime later. By holding on to it is not helping anybody. What I'm saying might sound painful for you right now already. I'm already like past that point. That's why I'm able to talk about it like also quite clearly. But what I am here to say, what I came here to say, is how you can start practicing this, especially considering how painful it is to even think about it. For me, one of the first things was letting go of the trash, because as an artist, as I like to create things sustainably, and whether it is like used paint that I picked up somewhere, or like a piece of furniture, or at some point, whatever, it can be literal trash, like, collecting, I don't know, right now I'm collecting chopsticks. Those I'm not letting go of because they're kind of like not taking up so much space, but I have an idea for an art piece about them. made out of them. But it doesn't matter. When you collect too many things, and I'm not talking about even your collections that literally heartwarming, that your special interests that give you peace. No, I'm talking about things that are the most easiest to let go of. Like, you can kind of assess and say, yeah, if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have like any kind of, breakdown. Like, if I lost this, I would have been okay, right? Even with things you like, you would be okay. And I often used to think that, especially things that I'm really attached to, I would used to think I wish they disappeared, because I felt this burden every time I had to go somewhere. Like, right now I need to move, and I feel like I have so many possessions, just, yeah, furniture, household items, materials, a lot of fabric, and so many ideas attached to those fabrics, like what I'm wanting to make out of those when I feel better and have energy, right? It's always like in the future somewhere, not now. That I feel like if I didn't have that, I would feel so much more free. But in that sense, I'm also letting myself be all right with letting them go at some point if they do become a burden. So when I plan my move, I'm like sorting things into categories. What has to stay with me? Like, what I'm definitely not getting rid of. And what are the things that are readily available? Whether it's like something like out of my pantry, where I go through phases where I eat one thing and then another thing and then another thing. And because there are different phases, it often happens that produce from that phase accumulates, and then I don't touch it for like half a year. And just sitting here waiting and hoping that I will eventually circle back to it is just unreasonable. It clutters your space, it clutters your mind and your energy, and it gets like you become less mobile. And those are cheap things as well. It's like rice, different kinds of grain, or like condiment, stuff like that. It's not something inaccessible that you will not be able to get later. It's also a good lesson to learn to let go of more like expensive things, or more unreachable, unattainable things. But that's farther. We have to start with the easy one. So just go through your house or in your mind just what you have, and see what are the things you might want to let go of. I don't know, pickled ginger in a jar that you have not eaten in a few months. Maybe give that to your friend, if it's not spoiled yet. I don't think it can spoil though, because it's spicy. Just go through things and throw away as many things as possible. Just at the first glance, maybe you can start from things that are already easy for you, that you don't even have to detach from. Just go through them, and then go a little bit more difficult area. For example, what I did with my fabrics and materials like a year ago or 2 years ago, I don't remember, I think it's 2. I literally donated like a whole truck of fabrics and yarn to a secondhand store. And yeah, some of those things I wish I didn't, but they were so bulky. Like, I had a couple of old fur coats from my family, from my grandma and my mom, that I really wanted to turn into like a really cool jacket, but I didn't have energy to do it, and I was just tired of thinking about it. And now I'm thinking, when I'm ready to do, I'll find another one that is just like that or better, and I'll make that fucking jacket. No big deal. So most of it gave me a lot of space and feeling of mobility inside my house or between houses. So just go through things like a book, maybe a book that you liked, but not so much that you want to read it again. Sell it, give it away. So go through things slowly. Never press, never push yourself. It's never good. It's never gonna give you a satisfying result. And then it's gonna also leave like this aftertaste of working on myself is violent, You should not push yourself. We're already really hard on ourselves in everyday life. So just trying to be as gentle as possible, but try and take a next step that is a little bit challenging, right? Like something that's really easy is already kind of done deal, but try a bit more. And the more you try it, you'll find yourself noticing almost like this kind of discomfort with the things that are not fully satisfying. You will come to a point where you realize that you deserve to have the things, be like surrounded by things, situations, and people that are up to your standard, and your standards also will keep growing. So you will feel more and more worthy. You will understand that you're not supposed to eat crumbs and, accept anything and everything as it is. Like, it's okay to accept things, right? Like, but to claim what you want. Because even if it is about like an ugly piece of furniture that you think nobody's gonna like, there's somebody who is gonna like it. You're right now keeping it because you are pitying it, right, and trying to rescue it. So you're cluttering your vibration and your space, and you're not letting this object be enjoyed by somebody, and you're not letting the person that already exists who would really enjoy this object have it. So just put it out there, tell your friends, put a little ad on whatever, Facebook or anywhere. This is the thing I have. It's really lovely, but we're not really a match. Maybe you're a better match. So try things like that. Nothing too extreme, but when you do it little by little, the more you do it, you'll feel this refreshment. You will feel this surge of new energy, because now on average, the quality of your space, the quality of your life is going to be higher because you got rid of things that are clutter. Emotionally, energetically, physically clutter. Same goes for emotions, where you feel a resentment about somebody or any kind of uncomfortable emotions. Just go as much as you could, to the best of your ability. Never push or punish yourself into being like you're a bad person for not forgiving them. No, you're not. But just gently explore, how would you feel if this resentment wasn't there? How would you feel if you were able to love that person? In that process, some triggers can come up, and your ego starts talking, yeah, because they did this to me and that to me, and it will start digging for proof to stay, right? But ego is always looking for proof to stay, because if you let go of it, it will die. But once also you go through those situations again and again and again, you realize, okay, I'm not the ego. Ego is also not bad. It's just trying to protect me by making me afraid of everything, because that's its function. It cannot exist outside of its function, right? So you can just gently let it go, or first gently detach from it. So that's what I have to say for now. I mean, I have more things, but I think it's kind of like a good amount of or maybe really shortly, like the next step will be the next step, the Marie Kondo situation. As I said, you're gonna start feeling more worthy. You're gonna start feeling more discerning between what you want and what you don't want, what you like and what you don't like. So when you feel ready, you will know. And it's gonna be a good step to start letting go of things that don't spark joy. So you only leave the things that spark joy. So then your whole life is gonna be full of joy. You see, like 100%. It is very important. Like, our environment is the mirror of our inside, but then our inside is not struggling, but it's harder for it to change when it keeps getting anchored onto the outside reflection of itself. Because unlike mirror, the object, right, our environment doesn't just immediately disappear. I mean, technically, if you mold your energy, it will. Somebody will come and pick it up for you with no effort. But as we are not at that level of mastery, energetic mastery, we can talk about it, but it's not productive probably. So just go slowly towards the place where, imagine this life where everything around you is to your liking. Whatever you do in life, people you interact with objects you're using, your pets, your family, everything. Think about it, envision that, and find ways in which you're already there, and find ways and objects and things and aspects that don't fit that description, and gently let them go. Start from very small things and be soft and loving with yourself, and let the thing just happen. Let it happen. Just start a little and let it. You'll be really surprised and really satisfied when you start doing it and when you feel that motion. Anyhow, so I think here I'll wrap it up, and I might talk about it later or more in depth or about next steps in another video. I love you. Have a good day. Bye bye.